And RadioStyle. Hope everybody out there's having themselves a great day, as always. Kelly Clarkson, Dark Side. We're calling this one Shadow Side Meld, Manifest Help. Might change the name of it, I don't know, because I'm not liking that, but kind of already said it, right? A little committed. But one of many things that I think are fascinating about the manifestation process is its ability to bring to our awareness things that are involved in our worlds, things that are a little more on the shadow side, a little on the darker side of ourselves. Anger can come into play, frustration can come into play, impatience can come into play. A lot of these things are not necessarily qualities we attribute to our better selves, right? Or higher selves, or better halves, whatever we want to call it. The reason this show kind of came about to me is a couple primary channels that I listen to. There's a few different YouTube people. Some of them I just listen to because I love their message. Some of them are just really good at doing YouTube, so it's like I'm studying them. And then there's some spiritual stuff I follow. There's some websites. There's I've got my little assortment of things that I go through. And this has kind of come up on a couple levels basically today. And I'm like, well, this is probably something that I should bring up. So just to kind of do a little bit of the history, if you will, or the bigger picture aspect of this, and then I'll dovetail it into the manifestation process and why I think this is super useful. So in the bigger picture, the energies that are happening right now on this planet involves a lot of us really melding with our dark side, if you will. Our shadow side is what they're frequently calling it. We need to have these things come to our attention, have them bubble up to the surface, if you will, so we can actually see them, so we can actually do something about it. And once we've got it in place, once we've got it in focus, we now are aware. It's now part of our conscious selves. So it's that bridging between the unconscious and conscious. And when we're able to do that, we're able to, like I said, make differences, make changes, sort of help bring this about. So during these times right now, there's a lot of us, especially light workers, that are kind of going through a bit of a trying time. Maybe some frustrations, maybe there's some dizziness, maybe your lack of energy, a little lethargic. Maybe there's some times where you just don't have the patience. You're snapping on your kid, like bam, you're like, bah, 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 right? So sometimes we've got to take a step back, take a deep breath, and try to figure out what the heck is going on. Why am I feeling like this right now? It's okay that you are. There's nothing wrong with this. It's actually very normal right now, and probably will be for the next year, 2, 3. I don't know. Depends. It's hard to get a fixed time frame, because ultimately what it really matters is how many of us wake up, how much we wake up, and that is really what decides how long this concept is going to last for us. So the shadow self is kind of this darker side. It's kind of this, like when you stand there and you've got a shadow behind you. It's a version of you, but the black version of you, right? The dark version of you. The no motion, no expression, it's off in the back. Now, of course, there's, I don't know, not to get too crazy and all the weird stuff, but there's been issues of the shadow. There's shadow people. You got the dark side of the moon. Right? There's always been this shadowy concept of eclipses from an astrological point of view is enormous, which is essentially the moon passing in the Earth's shadow. It's a very powerful, profound thing from the astrological standpoints. So shadow selves have always been out there, have been very a part of our lives and our culture. I believe there's 2 eclipses a year. All right, it's just the way that things perfectly spin and then line up and then bam, depends where you're at. I think there's one coming up. I know my folks are planning on going up to Oregon to watch it, which I think is interesting because Oregon's like, of the states on the West Coast, well, they're in Washington. Rain is common, so hopefully they got clear skies. But that being said, the shadow it's that it presents us with our anti-side, or antithesis, if you will. And it helps us work through some of the past life issues that maybe we have, certainly karmic issues that we might have, maybe anger and frustration, maybe some spiritual immaturity type scenarios that will come into play. So one of the great things about manifestations is it helps bubble these concepts up. So again, a lot of times, why am I having such a hard time? Why is it taking so long? What's going on? Again, you're probably doing everything right as far as the imaginal processes, as far as trying to stay centered, trying to stay focused, doing your meditations. I mean, all of us are hopefully aware. If not, we've got gobs of videos. Anya's for sure too. And she's got wonderful meditation videos that I highly recommend. There's gobs of stuff out there that can help you along those lines. But we've got to pay attention to these things as they bubble up because they're showing us signs. They're showing us things about our internals, about our souls, about our energy that needs attention, that needs some love, that needs to be looked at. And oftentimes the mirror of the people we love most, that expression, right? That projector, it's coming off of them, right? It's reflecting ourselves on them. These are the easiest ways for us to frequently identify these places of growth. And where these places of growth show up when we actually face them, when we look at it, when we meditate on it, when we check into our self-love, when we maybe write astral letters to the person that's frustrating us because we keep getting angry. Whatever the case is, when we learn to, God, one I'm guilty of all the time is driving. Driving will get me, like, I'm not an angry driver, but traffic and just stupid people on the road. There's just like, God, really? Come on. Like I'll catch myself doing that and it's like, all right, you're in perfect time. Like, just reminds myself, it's one of the things I'm still working through amongst others. Other things I'm working through, I should say, not just other people working on that problem. But it's an opportunity to help develop ourselves. It's an opportunity to get our energies raised. And what you'll start to notice is as you start to remove these blockages, as you start to get out of the way of these impending dooms, these shadows that block everything from us, you start to notice an ease. You start to notice your energy rises. You start to notice maybe that specific someone hits you up out of the blue because your energy just kicked up a notch. And remember, it's a focus-based universe, yes, but it's also an energy universe. And what we're what we're vibrating at, right? What our little amplitude modulation, that's AM, by the way, but whatever we're vibrating at is what we're attracting. I'm not sure if it was Einstein or Tesla. Actually, I think I have the quote here. Yeah, right. See, so Einstein's quoted here, but I've actually heard it attributed to Nikola Tesla, I think is how you say it. Everything is energy, and that's all there is to it. Match the frequency of the reality you want, and you cannot help but get to that reality. It can be no other way. This is not philosophy. This is physics. Albert Einstein and or possibly Nikola Tesla by Albert. So yeah, that is a big part of what is happening. It's energy. It's energetics. It's what we're sending out, we're getting back constantly. Whatever it looks like, that's just what's being displayed before us. What you're seeing is your energy coming back. Again, another version of what I think you pushed out is. And again, that is a concept that I think will come into play in a lot of ways. I don't necessarily take it wholeheartedly, literally, like everything is literally me. I don't buy that per se. I know there are lots of people that believe that. So, and I'm totally cool with that. I'm even okay with people assuming that's more of a limiting belief on my part. I think there's a depth to it that I think is sometimes misunderstood. But whatever being said, it's another example of how it's us showing ourselves to ourselves. So when we have these moments, when we see the darkness, if you will, when we see that shadow just, oh no, and it gets all dark, that's okay. You can get through this, and you can also use this as an opportunity to grow and develop and make you a better person. What's wrong with that? Nothing. Manifestations are a very, very powerful way to do that, especially when you're manifesting your specific someone, because that is the true unity of your soul. That is the yin and the yang. That is the frick and the frack. Mano y mano. I am trying to come up with other lame, and they're escaping me. But that is your perfect place to really start to have that level of experience. Kids, I think, are another really good one too, because they'll reflect crazy stuff onto us as well, and you'll just be like, wow, where'd that come from? And then you're like, oh yeah, me. That was me. That was totally me. So again, these are awesome opportunities for us to see what's actually going on with us. And I think a lot of people are like, well, how do I know? What do I need to work on? That's what's beautiful. Your soul will show you. So pay attention. It'll show you in the levels and ways that you need to. When you're peeling an onion, you don't take the inner layer off before you take the outer layer off, right? You peel off the outer layer. Oh, and there's another layer. And then you peel off that layer. Hey, there's another layer. You don't peel the layers under the layers, right? You can't. You got to get the layers off the top. So as these things bubble up, as they come to our attention, acknowledge them, love them, embrace them, thank them for showing themselves, and it allows you to clean it and move along. And we'll get to the next layer. And as you get enough of these layers off, your manifestation skills get faster, better, sharper, quicker. Like, you really will start to notice a difference because generally speaking, you're in a better mood more of the time. Less external factors, if you will, are affecting you, and more of what's inside of you is affecting it. It's that transition from waiting for something to happen in the world to make me happy versus me choosing to be happy and then experiencing things in the world that are cool and energetically similar to my happy vibe. So again, the dark side, the shadow, the eclipse, these are all wonderful things that will definitely show us the way to the other side. Hopefully this has been helpful for y'all. Trying to keep them short. Dang it, man, I thought I was going to keep this under 10 minutes. Anyway, I'm working on it. Dan RadioStyle, please contact me if you would like at danradiostyle@gmail.com. Going to be going out with a song that was from a movie, I guess. Eddie and the Cruisers was the name of the movie. The song's called On the Dark Side.
The dark side's called love and is real. She'll never know just how I feel. From under the shadow she walks like a dream. Make me feel crazy, make me feel so mean.